and Cal BRE 01869452 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries. As we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media, this is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We'll be a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, and we are celebrating today, every day on Ron Siegel Radio. This one's a simple one. National Care for Your Kids Day. I think you care for your kids every day, don't you? National Punch Day. No, I'm not talking about punch somebody. I think it's punch now. When I was in college, you never knew what to find in the punch, but that's a whole different story. String Cheese Day, Pepperoni Pizza Day. Yeah, we like that one. Pepperoni Pizza, you can't go wrong with that. And it is also National Fried Rice Day. Where do you get the best fried rice? I like fried rice. I enjoy that. Maybe I'll have to go to get some fried rice for lunch today. Now, let's look at the do we want to look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average? It's down 664 points. Ow! S&P 500 down 92. The NASDAQ down 385. Oil down $1.31. Are we seeing a theme here on all these down numbers? It's not a pretty day if you're a stock investor, and I'll tell you why in just a little bit. But hey, let's take a look and see. I know we don't always want to know these numbers, but we look at them because we like to be educated. So we're looking right now, oil prices over there in Louisiana, 289.9. Are they the lowest in the land? No. $2.80.1 is the cheapest oil prices in the land. $2.80.1. Where are we finding $2.80 gasoline? Of course it is. It's Texas. $2.80 a gallon is what they're paying in Texas. Do we want to know, Josh? $3.95 there in Nevada. And right here in the formerly Golden State, $4.39 a gallon of gasoline. $3.19.5 is the national average. So we're at $4.39. That's about $1.29 a gallon, more than the national average here in California. Elections have consequences. Why is the market tanking the way it is, though? That's the question that so many people, because even though you may not be invested in the stock market, you're probably invested in the stock market. Right now, we look at it. Do you have a 401k? Do you have an IRA? Most of those have exposure to the stock market. So we're all there in one way or another. But hey, let's take a look at it. Why is it happening? What's going on? So it all has to do with the overnight markets. A lot of it frequently has to do with overnight markets. So a company called Evergrande. Now you would think that being that they're in China, You might not call them Evergrande, but that sounds like it would have something to do with one of the Spanish or Hispanic countries. Second largest Chinese property developer. Yeah, they're on the brink of collapse right now.
Nothing like a little air superiority.
Yeah, so here it is. Has debts, $300 billion. Ow! $300 billion in debt is where they are right now. And they're saying they may not be able to make their next mortgage or their next interest payment. Interest payment, mortgage payment, about the same thing, right? So that is about $80 million. What's your mortgage? Right? So $80 million is what their next debt payment is. And they're saying they may not be able to make that payment. Now, here's the issue. You might say, well, that's China. What does that got to do with me? Well, when you have $300 billion in debt, $300 billion, I mean, that's massive amounts of debt. Now, that's nothing compared to the U.S., right? I mean, global debt right now is $300 trillion. That in and of itself is concerning. They're talking right now in Congress about upping our debt limit. Isn't that fascinating? How the people that spend the money get to vote on whether they can increase the debt limit. Be like you saying that, okay, I've got my credit card is maxed out, so I'm going to increase my limit, and you're the only one that makes that decision. That'd be pretty nice if you could do that, right? But it doesn't work that way. So what they're saying in Congress is that they get to do that. They increase the debt limit. We're so far in debt right now that your grandkids are going to be the ones paying it off. Maybe your Josh's grandkids, and his kids are little, right? They're the ones that are going to be paying off this debt. I'll be long gone before they even start talking about paying off the debt. But here's the issue. When you've got $80 million as your upcoming debt payment, well, Goldman Sachs is owed a lot of money. Do you remember when Lehman Brothers, 2008, they went out of business and they defaulted, right? AIG was on the verge of going out because they had so much of the insurance on that Lehman debt, reinsurance there. Well, it nearly put them out of business. Well, that's what we're looking at right now with Evergrande. Will the Chinese government come in? Will they step up to the plate and buy that debt? Yeah, we don't know. But we do know that it's a massive amount of debt. And then we've got I don't know whether I should use the word corruption, but maybe I will use the word corruption. So here's the issue that we have in our own debt. So the Boston Fed president. Now, this is a fascinating story because when you look at the Boston Fed president, Eric Rosengren. So they vote on what the Federal Reserve is going to buy. Well, Mr. Rosengren has made 37 trades of $1 million or more in mortgage-backed securities. 37. Now, these are not, when you talk about $1 million or more, that's not little trades. $1 million or more in mortgage-backed securities, and he's voting on whether the Federal Reserve should buy the same thing that he's buying. Now, do you remember Martha Stewart? Right? Martha Stewart, well, she was accused of insider trading. She never got convicted of insider trading. She got convicted of lying to federal prosecutors. And that's what she went to jail for. But here's the issue, it was against the law for insider trading. What is Mr. Rosengren doing? Right? He knows what the Federal Reserve, he's inside those Federal Reserve meetings. The minutes are not released for 3 weeks after the meeting. So we're starting a Federal Reserve meeting tomorrow. It's a 2-day meeting. Mr. Rosengren is in that meeting. And he's made 37 trades of $1 million or more recently. Does that sound a little fishy to you? Now, I just kind of chuckle because there's been so much gone on, and we've listened so many times to all this garbage about Donald Trump and wanting to know his taxes, and about the issue of him, a billionaire, going to work in Congress or going to work as president. And supposedly, and I don't know whether it's true or not, but he lost money while he was the president of the United States. His net worth supposedly dropped while he was a president. Now, should we compare that to Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer or all of these other politicians who go into, Bill Clinton goes into Washington, and he says that he's broke, leaves Washington worth hundreds of millions of dollars. How does that work? How is that the case? Do you understand? Am I missing something here? Is there something that I should be watching a little closer? So you're worried about the billionaire that has his net worth go down, but the moderate individual becomes a millionaire. Bernie Sanders becomes a multimillionaire, multiple houses, and no one wants to look at that. Maybe it's me. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something, but it seems to me like we're looking at the wrong place. And Joe Biden, where's he at? Oh yeah, he's at another one of his vacation homes. I think he is. He's not sure where he's at either, right? But the fact of the matter is, you've got crises on every front, and the leader of the country is nowhere to be found. I mean, Kamala Harris, I think, is she in the witness protection program? I don't know where she must be, right? She's our border czar. Have you seen what's going on the border with 11,000 Haitians living under the Freedom Bridge? Did Kamala Harris know about that? Does she know what's going on down there? The mayor of Del Rio is asking for help. No return call from the White House. Where is Kamala? I don't know where she's got to be in witness protection, right? So she can't go anywhere, talk to anybody, do anything. President of the United States goes to answer a question. They cut off his mic. I just wonder what's going on here. Do they know what's going on? Don't say that about the President of the United States. You can't say that. We're going to continue our conversation. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, is it time to move to a new home? We'll talk about it. 7 to-do items for your fall 401k checkup. Are you even doing a checkup? Small differences between credit scores. Are they normal? All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit ronsiegelradio.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. So what is happening in the world of finance this morning? Well, we told you a little bit about it earlier. We told you about the market taking it's a bit of a drop today where the Dow Jones now down 692 points. The NASDAQ, that's down just jumped. It's down 402 points. Yeah, that's not a pleasant drop. 402 on the NASDAQ right now. Let's look at the mortgage, the 10-year Treasury. Let me get that one up for you. Let's do now I'll call all of them. Like the S&P 500 is down 91 points. 10-year Treasury down 6 basis points. That's good for, not for our seniors, but it translates into 14 basis points as a drop or an increase in the mortgage-backed securities, which means interest rates are down a little bit. So that is a little bit of a benefit there, all due to that Evergrande, the National Association of Home Builders. Their housing market index increased by 1 point from last month, revised figure of 75 to 76 in September. Current sales increased by 1 point to 82. Sales expectations remain flat at 81. Buyer traffic increased by 2 points to 61. We told you a little bit what's causing all of these issues with that Evergrande and its information. Housing starts. Our new home existing. Wait a second. That's this week. We've got the housing starts, existing home sales, new home sales. All are due for release. The Fed's 2-day meeting, I told you, starts tomorrow. Their statement will come out on Wednesday. Likely get more clues on the timing of tapering, but based on back to school, the rise of Delta variant, slower growth fast last month, the slight pullback in inflation and today's developments, the Fed will likely wait to November to further assess the economy. Yeah, they don't want to get too far ahead of things and maybe, although we're not going to tell you this. No one's going to tell you this part of it. I'll tell you what the heck. So the real issue behind what's going on in all of these different issues is Jerome Powell wants to keep his job. Right? It's a power issue. So if we start seeing that the economy doesn't do well and there's more economic problems, or the Fed says we're going to taper and that has a negative effect on the stock market, that's possible Powell loses his job and the president will announce somebody else to replace him. Powell doesn't want that. He wants to appease Joe Biden or whoever is making the calls in the White House. I mean, because I don't know about you, but I'm not sure that the president is making any of these calls. Just throw that out there to you. But that is the issue of what's going on, the mortgage minute. So interest rates on home loans increase or improved a bit. If you haven't taken advantage of the fact of the cheap money looking to do home improvements, we've talked about that we're going to be getting a lot of people. Now, if you watched last week, toward the end of the week, Governor signed SB 8, which now means basically single-family residences are gone. Anybody that wants to build multiple units on a single-family lot or something zoned SFR, they can do it according to what the new law is. The governor says states and cities and counties have no jurisdiction over the zoning any longer. You can build up to 4 units on any lot. Here's the issue. Because so many of the politicians, they don't always think all the way through. What about the permits? The cost of permits, the cost of infrastructure, the environmental studies. There's an environmental study. You break a fingernail and you got to get an environmental study on it, right? Not far from my house, there is a religious property, church. And boy, if you want to see people get upset, the church sold the property. Apparently no one was going to church. So they sell the property and they want to put a senior residence in there. The community went crazy, right? You got protesters on every corner. First, the planning commission approves it. Then the city council says no, right? These are all issues that go before the city planners and commission. People don't want change. Do you want your neighbor? Maybe you don't want to put 4 units on your property. But what about your neighbor? What if they say, you know something? I think I'm going to tear my house down and I'm going to make a 4-plex on Irvine. Can you imagine that in Irvine? Right? You got houses that are all right on top of each other. Call it Legoland, right? Houses right on top of each other. And now you can have somebody with a $2 million house, which is not a major, really not outrageous in Irvine. But you put a $2 million house, and all of a sudden, you're putting a 4-plex right next door. Right? Could you imagine that? So now you've got 4 $500,000 2-bedroom units or studio units. Could you imagine that? But hey, you know something? That's what the governor says now legal. You can do that. Not a problem. So think about that concept. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call. Hey, let's talk about Your Credit Matters today, being brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You got a credit report. It is wrong. Credit Sanitizer. Are small differences between credit scores normal? If you regularly check your credit scores, you might check them from different sources at the same time and see you have different scores. You also might notice that scores fluctuate from one month to the next or even from one day to the next. Yes, I am a numbers guy, so I watch my numbers. MyFICO.com. MyFICO.com. I have my wife and myself on their premium plan. I pay for it. No, I don't get paid. I don't get paid to endorse it. MyFICO.com. And I saw on just one of my scores the other day, one item brought my score down 3 points, and another item brought my score up 4 points. Same day. So I had a net of a 1-point increase. Not abnormal. Not a mistake. In fact, once you understand how FICO scores are calculated, you may realize that it's common and even expected to have different FICO scores. What determines a FICO score? It depends entirely on the information in one of your credit reports from a major credit bureau, Experian, Equifax, or TransUnion. Scores based on the information contained in one of your credit reports at the specific moment the score is requested. If the underlying data is changed by the next time the score is requested, the score may change as well. The score is not changed in any of those files. What happens is the data from the files gets thrown into the FICO algorithm that's being used, and it spits out a score real time that is not saved. It's printed on the report that's generated. Make sure you're making an apples to apples comparison. One reason you may be seeing different outcomes is that you're actually checking different credit scores or credit scores based on different underlying data. There are a couple of common ways this can happen, especially if you're checking your credit from different sources such as bank, credit card issuer, and a free credit monitoring service. So most of the credit monitoring services are giving you a Vantage score, not a FICO score. We'll talk about that. FICO scores are based on different credit reports. Your credit reports likely are not identical, which can lead to differences in the resulting scores. Additionally, the FICO scoring system at each bureau are slightly different. You're receiving different versions of the FICO score. Even if the same report is being scored, the results could be different depending on FICO score versions. So it's like Windows 95 or Windows, I don't even know what Windows are right now, but whatever the numbers are, or iOS 10 versus iOS 12 or whatever the numbers are, right? Same difference. So it could be a different scoring version. It's not a FICO score. Are you sure you got a FICO score, not a FICO score, and not a different score brand? The score you get isn't a FICO score. The other scoring models may use a different approach that results in a different score. Credit reports were pulled at different times. Credit monitoring services might not request a brand new credit report each time you check your credit. As a result, the services may be showing you FICO scores based on different credit reports from different points in time. To help you know what credit scores you're looking at, be sure to understand which credit bureau it is being sourced from, the date on which it was generated, the score brand, and the version of the score. What can lead to changes in a FICO score over time? If you're monitoring the same FICO score version based on credit reports from the same bureau, several items could lead to a small change. Your credit report is aging over time, and that can impact your length of credit history, which may cause the score to change. With passage of time, certain items can fall off the credit report, such as late payments getting purged at the 7-year mark or inquiries aging past the 1-year mark, which may cause a change in the score. Newly reported balances can impact characteristics that evaluate your outstanding balances and use of your available credit, thus potentially impacting the score. Any new credit-seeking activities, inquiries, and newly opened accounts can also result in a score change. Closing or paying off an account may impact the score. FICO scores use complex algorithms to score credit reports, which can often lead to minor changes over time and may even lead to unexpected changes. Sometimes you may be able to identify a single event that's the primary reason for a change, such as a late payment hurting your credit. But even then, the extent of the impact will depend on your entire credit file. Check multiple FICO scores at once. Knowing your FICO scores is a good way to understand where you stand when you want to apply for credit. While many services let you monitor 1 or 2 scores at a time, you might not know exactly which credit report or score a creditor will use, and that's why I like to use myfico.com. The MyFICO plans give you up to 28 FICO scores at once, and you can choose to check the scores based on a single credit report like Experian, or get your FICO scores based on credit reports from all 3 bureaus. Again, that is Your Credit Matters, brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? Well, we know what you're doing right now. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio. And when we come back, we have got a lot more to still go over with you. Is it time to move in onto a new home? What can you do to prepare for home ownership? Let's chat about that one. To-do items for your fall 401k checkup, all that and more. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments, paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at ronsiegelradio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. SLT Home Digest 79564. Is it time to move on to a new home? That is our question today. Is it time to move on to a new home? If you've been in your home for longer than 5 years, you're not alone. According to recent data from First American, homeowners are staying much longer than historical averages. And if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, Josh is putting up a chart for us to see what the numbers look like. Homeowners are staying in their houses longer. Prior to 2008, 5 years. 2008 to 2016, 8 years. Today, 10.6 years. Homeowners sold their houses an average of just 5 years before 2008. Again, today that number is more than doubled over 10 years. The housing industry refers to this as your tenure. To really explore tenure, it's important to understand what drives people to make a move. An article from The Balance explores some of the primary reasons individuals choose to sell their houses. It says people who move for home-related reasons might need a larger home or a house that better fits their needs. Financial reasons for moving include wanting a nicer home, moving to a newer home to avoid making repairs on the old one, or cashing in on existing equity, unquote. If you've been in your home for longer than the norm, chances are you're putting off addressing one, if not several, of the reasons other individuals choose to move. If this sounds like you, here are a few things to consider. If your needs have changed, it may be time to reevaluate your home. As the past year has shown, our needs can change rapidly. That means the longer you've been in your home, the more likely it is your needs have evolved. The balance notes several personal factors that could lead to your home no longer meeting your needs, including relationship and job changes. For example, many workers recently found out they'll be working remotely indefinitely. If that's the case for you, you may need more space for a dedicated home office. Other homeowners choose to sell because the number of people living under their roof changes. Now more than ever, we're spending more and more time at home. As you do, consider if your home really delivers on what you need moving forward. It's often financially beneficial to sell your house and move. One of the biggest benefits of home ownership is the equity your home builds over time. If you've been in your house for several years, you may not realize how much equity you have. According to the latest homeowner equity report from CoreLogic, homeowners gain an average of $33,400 in equity over the past year. That equity, plus today's low mortgage rates, can fuel a major upgrade when you sell your home and purchase a new one. Or, if you're looking to downsize, your equity can provide a larger down payment and lower your monthly payments over the life of your next loan. No matter what, there are significant financial benefits to selling in today's market. Bottom line, if you've been in your home for 5 to 10 years or more, right now might be the time to explore your options. Today's low rates, your built-up equity could provide you with the opportunity to address your evolving needs. If you feel it's time to sell, hey, let's chat about that. And don't forget, we just released, the end of last week, our new home sellers guide. You can go to rsrhsg.com and get the home sellers guide. That is the newest one. We release a new one every quarter. So the fall guide is out there, rsrhsg.com, or just simply text HSG to 79564, HSG 79564. It's all right there for you. So take advantage of some of these things. We put them out there so that you have a benefit. So they're there for your benefit. And you know, if you did buy that house over 5 years ago, number one, and you haven't restructured your home loan, there's probably a very good likelihood that you could restructure your home loan and save money. Now, some people, and I don't say this sarcastically, but some people don't want to save that money that they could from their new home. What they prefer to do is they'll prefer to make a principal reduction payment. And that's great. I mean, you can go ahead and do that as well. Nothing wrong with that, making that principal reduction payment. And it'll end up getting you a big benefit. What's the benefit? Well, you'll pay off your home that much sooner. There is a way, when we talk to our private clients, that I can actually show you how on the amortization table you can make, 4 payments look like 10 payments. Now, why? You probably say, Ron, why would I want to make 4 payments? Well, what if you get a bonus at the holiday time, right? And you want to find a strategic way of utilizing those funds, right? You can do that and make it look like 10 payments. Show up right there on the amortization table. Show you how that works at any given time. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment, again, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find that dream home before someone else does. Let's take a look at 7 to-do items for your fall 401k checkup. As your retirement savings is a big part of your financial wellness, it's important to make sure that you're doing all you can to stay on top of your retirement goals. And what better time than fall to perform a checkup for your 401k account. If your 401k plan isn't being maintained, you might be overpaying in fees. You might find yourself exposed to too much risk. in your retirement portfolio or vice versa. If you don't check in with your 401k, it'll be hard to create a true retirement plan. How will you know if your retirement nest egg will be enough to retire comfortably at your desired retirement age? You'll probably want to check in on your 401k a few times a year and possibly every quarter if retirement is around the corner. Here's what to look over. Number one, did the amount that went out of your paycheck go into your 401k? Yeah, it would be a shame that if you came out of your paycheck and it did not go into your 401k. If you opted for, say, 5% of your pre-tax income from each paycheck to go directly into your 401k account, is that amount correct? You can check this by logging on to your 401k plan and seeing what percentage of your pay is going towards your 401k contribution. Second, look at a recent pay stub to see the amount being taken out of each check for your 401k plan. They should add up. Number two, is your employer matching you the right amount if they have a match? If your workplace offers a match for defined contribution plans such as 401k, check your contributions in your plan to make sure they are providing a match and if the amount looks correct. Remember, many companies have vesting schedules. What this means is that you'll need to stay at your company for a certain number of years until you fully own the contributions your employer made into your 401k account. If you leave the company before you're fully vested, you might lose all or part of what your employer put in. You'll need to check to see what your employer's vesting schedule is. While your contributions are 100% yours from the beginning, your employer's contributions are not yours until you've been there, say, 5-6 years. For instance, after 1 year of service, your employer's contributions are 20% vested. After 2 years of service, they're 40% vested, and so forth. While your company might have made those contributions to your plan, you might not be entitled to all of it until you've served a number of years at your job. Are you contributing enough to get the full employer match? If you can afford it, and contribute enough to your plan to receive any employer's match. For instance, let's say your employer matches 50 cents for every dollar up to 6%. If you don't contribute enough to get the full match, that's 3% of your income that you're leaving on the table, as employer matches should be considered part of your compensation. If you can swing it, contribute the full amount. If you're not financially in place where you can squirrel away enough to get the full employer match, slowly increase the amount you're contributing to your plan. Typically, most plans allow you to set up automatic increases of 1% per year. Slowly bump up that amount each quarter until you're putting away at least enough to get the full match. If you're feeling particularly ambitious and you're in place financially to contribute more, the 2021 401k contribution limits are $19,500. You also have until the tax deadline of the following year to make 401k contributions for the current year. So for 2021, you'll have until April 15th, 2022 to make contributions. Number four, how are your investments performing? Well, you can't choose how stocks or bonds. Well, you know something, I think we're going to have to hold off. I'll give you the rest of this when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets when we come back. Featured home brought to you by myfavouritelender.net. And we'll continue this conversation. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you tired of paying rent? Are you tired of paying someone else's mortgage? Do you know qualified folks can potentially purchase a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket? Ron Siegel can help Qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. If you're tired of paying someone else's mortgage, reach out to Ron today at ronismylender.com. That's ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey friends, do you dream of mortgage-free home ownership? Are you aware that even if you own your home free and clear, it could still be costing you thousands per year? The Siegel Lending Team can help you generate tax-free income, accumulate family wealth, and maintain ownership of your home. By simply emailing your most recent mortgage statement, you'll receive a no-obligation real estate plan. Learn more by calling 1-800-306-1990 or email me your recent mortgage statement to PEAR@RonSiegelRadio.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at RonSiegelRadio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Glad to see you with us, Alex. I'm glad you're attending. Yeah, you're a little late today, though. I mean, I don't want to cause any problems, but I know it's Monday. You must have had a long weekend or something going on there. Featured home today, being brought to you by myfavoritelender.net, 510 South Paseo de Luna, Anaheim Hills. 3 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms, luxury living in this gorgeous 3-bedroom, single-story home located on the lovely cul-de-sac. Step inside, you'll fall in love with this professionally designed and remodeled gourmet kitchen with larger center island, pillow top tavertine backsplash, and stainless steel appliances. The kitchen opens to a great room with soaring ceilings and a view to the backyard that will beckon you to step through the 15-foot multi-door slider to go explore. So Melinda Johnson's got this listing, Freedom First Properties, list price $1,200,000. Financing options, 10% down, $48.50 a month, with 20% down. I'm confusing myself here. $43.11 a month, 25% down strategically, $36.15 a month. That is principal and interest payments only. You need to add the taxes, the insurance. It looks like there's no HOA if there's any mortgage insurance. All those things have to be added to get your monthly total housing expense. And for those of you keeping score, yes, compliance people, that would be an APR of 3.714, 3.542, and 2.825. NMLS 217037. Yeah, looks like a great property. 510 South Paseo de la Luna. Melinda Johnson, the listing agent. I think there's an open house this weekend too. That's I think what's Saturday, the 25th. Saturday the 25th is the open house. Generally, Melinda does hers 1 to 4, I think it is. I'm not sure what she's doing this time. But Melinda Johnson is the listing agent. Give her a call. Give me a call at 800-306-1990. I will be happy to put you in touch with her. That, again, 510 South Paseo de la Luna. That's Anaheim Hills, 92807. 3-bedroom, single story. That's probably the best part of anything right now. If you're getting old like me, that single story is very, very helpful. That's a featured home brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. Let's get back to the 7 to-do items for your fall 401k checkup. We already did numbers 1, 2, and 3. If you missed it, you're going to have to go back and listen on RonSiegelRadio.com. Did the amount that went out of your paycheck go into your 401k account is number 1. Is your employer matching you the amount is number 2. Are you contributing enough to get the full employer match? Number 3. And number 4 we're on now. How are your investments performing? Well, you can't choose individual stocks or bonds to invest in through a 401k plan. You can pick index funds, ETFs. Usually, the plan provider has a selection of investments you can choose from. And while your return is part of how you decide your allocation mix, you'll also want to make sure your allocations are in line with your goals and risk tolerance. You also want to check in to see how your investments are performing and know what the historical rate of return is. According to data from Vanguard, in 2020, the average participant return rate for those with identified contribution plans was 15.1%. This number can go up and down every year, so the average rate is what counts the most. 15.1%. Just remember, that means basically every 5 years, if that holds, and I don't know whether it will, no guarantees on Ron Siegel Radio, if that holds, every 5 years your money's doubling. Make sure that your stock and bond allocations align with your risk tolerance, retirement date, age, and goals. Typically, as markets grow over time, you'll notice that your stock allocations are growing significantly higher than initially desired. This is why you should periodically shift your allocation back to the appropriate split. Number 5, what are the fees you're paying? It's also a good idea to look at fees of your investments. According to TD Ameritrade, the average cost of all fees for invested assets in a 401k plan is 0.45%. That might not seem like a lot, but it can add up, especially as the amount of your 401k plan grows. Add a 0.5% or 1% increase in fees can make a huge difference as to how much your money will grow. If you notice any fees greater than 1%, consider investing in a new fund. This will save your money more than you think. Number 6, are your beneficiaries up to date? If you recently got married, had a child, got divorced, or someone in your family passed, you might need to revisit your primary and contingent beneficiary selections for your 401k. You want to make sure your beneficiaries listed are always up to date with your current wishes. You can typically do this on your own by logging onto your account, and would typically need to provide personal information about your beneficiaries, such as their legal name, date of birth, and social security number. 7, are there any changes you'd like to make? As long as you're eligible to open and start making contributions to your 401k plan, some companies require that you wait at least 6 months or a year until after your work start date. You can make changes to your plan, such as the contribution amount at any time. While your retirement savings and tax advantage accounts, like a 401k, doesn't directly impact your credit, having enough shored up for a nest egg can help you enjoy financial wellness and a reasonable degree of comfort in your later years. In turn, you won't have to take on personal debt. That's always a good thing, as long as you can keep that personal debt out of there. So just a few thoughts for you on some money thoughts. It doesn't look like we're going to have enough time to get into discussing how to manage your money during inflation. Seems like we keep pushing that one back a little bit further. With what you can do now to prepare for home ownership, we'll get onto that one probably tomorrow, just because you can only do so much on a given day. So let's being that we've only got a little bit of time left, would it be okay if I give away some stuff? What do you think? How about 4 days, 3 nights in Nashville? 4 days, 3 nights in Nashville. You got to pay your own taxes and fees. RSRraffle.com. RSRraffle.com. So that's one of them there. How about getting out of debt? Getting out of debt in 10 years or less. RSR, no debt. RSR, no debt. So that's another one for you. And maybe the last one that I'll give away today is 7 steps to a 700 credit score. 7 steps to a 700 credit score. Text RSR Credit Book to 79564. RSR Credit Book to 79564. Or you can go to rsrcreditbook.com. rsrcreditbook.com. And as always, I ask you, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
Tides that I tried to swim